You swore you wouldn't do it again. You said it out loud, maybe even wrote it down. And then weeks later, you did it again. The same fight, the same snooze button, the same bad decision wearing a slightly different outfit. It feels like a personal failure. It isn't. The real answer is far stranger, and it starts almost 200,000 years ago. Your brain was not built to learn from logic. It was built to learn from pain and reward, fast and without asking your permission. Psychologists call this a habit loop. A cue triggers a craving. The craving drives a routine. The routine delivers a reward. Repeat that loop enough times and the behavior stops being a choice. It becomes wiring. Neuroscientist Anne Graybiel at MIT spent decades studying this process in the basal ganglia, and her research showed something unsettling. Once a habit is grooved in deeply enough, the conscious part of your brain barely gets a vote anymore. Think about that. The part of you that makes promises is not the part of you that runs on autopilot. Two different systems. One is slow, deliberate, and easily exhausted. The other is fast, automatic, and nearly tireless. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman named these System 1 and System 2 in his research on judgment and decision-making. System 2 is the version of you that says never again. System 1 is the version of you that shows up the next time temptation appears. System 1 almost always wins because it evolved first. Here is the part that reframes everything. Your ancestors were not rewarded for reflecting. They were rewarded for repeating. A hunter-gatherer who paused to examine every decision was a hunter-gatherer who got eaten. Fast, automatic pattern matching kept your ancestors alive long enough to pass on their genes. So evolution built you a brain that defaults to the familiar path, even when it's wrong. Your mistake is not a bug. It is a feature that outlived its original purpose. There is a second reason your mistakes repeat, and it is harder to hear. Your brain treats emotional intensity as importance, not accuracy. A moment that felt humiliating or urgent gets tagged by your amygdala as remember this, but the tag includes no instructions on what to do differently. It only stores the shape of the moment. So when a similar shape appears again, your body reacts before your mind catches up. You are not choosing the same mistake. You are recognizing a pattern faster than you can think. Psychologist B.F. Skinner demonstrated something else that explains why these loops resist change. Behavior rewarded unpredictably becomes the most resistant of all. Not rewarded every time, just often enough to keep hope alive. Slot machines are built on this principle, so unfortunately are plenty of relationships and bad decisions. If the payoff happened even once, your brain will keep betting on it happening again. That is not weakness. That is how reinforcement works. So why does willpower fail to fix this? Because willpower lives in the prefrontal cortex, the newest, most fuel-hungry part of your brain. It is also the first system to go offline when you are tired, stressed, or emotionally flooded, which means the exact moments you most need self-control are the moments your brain has the least of it to offer. You are not failing at willpower. You are running out of a limited resource at precisely the wrong time, over and over. Here is the twist. The solution was never more willpower. Researchers studying habit change, building on Graybiel's findings, point to a different lever, changing the cue, not fighting the craving. If a habit loop starts with a trigger, removing that trigger interrupts the loop before the automatic system engages. You cannot out willpower a system built to bypass willpower. But you can redesign the environment that keeps activating it. This is why simply knowing better rarely works. Knowledge lives in System 2. Habits live in System 1. Telling yourself the truth does not rewire the loop underneath it. What rewires it is repeating a new response to the same old cue until the new path becomes the automatic one. It is slow. It is unglamorous. It looks nothing like the dramatic transformation you were hoping for. So the next time you catch yourself repeating a mistake, pause before the shame arrives. That shame is System 2 punishing System 1 for doing exactly what it was built to do 200,000 years ago. You are not broken. You are running ancient software in a modern world it was never designed for. Tonight, when the same old cue shows up again, you won't need more guilt to stop it. You will need a new response repeated until it becomes automatic. The mistake was never really yours to blame. It was your ancestors' survival strategy, still running quietly in the background, waiting for you to rewrite the code.